Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and I hope y'all are having a great day today. So I'm really excited today because we're going to be doing an under eye concealer review. We're going to be checking out the new r.e.m Beauty Sweetener Concealer. So I have two shades here that we're going to be playing around with today. So let me show y'all the shades and swatch them really quickly for y'all. So this first shade here is Tan 4G. Oh, it looks like we're working with a really thick high coverage concealer, and this next one is the shade Tan 8P. So these are the two shades that we're going to be playing around with today. So I'll explain why I got these shades in just a little bit. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to apply it to the under eye. We will be playing around with it on other parts of the face, but we're going to be focusing on the under eye. And then of course we're going to be doing an 8-hour wear test. So for those of you who have similar under eye concerns such as me, I have the darkness, I have the bags, I have the under eye wrinkles, I have 40 plus under eyes. So not everyone who's in 40 plus have my under eyes, but for those of you who have similar concerns, we're going to see if this is a concealer that is worth trying out. So let's jump right into it. Okay, now let's take a look at these swatches again. Now this concealer comes in a lot of shades, which is a good thing, but the more shades that a foundation or a concealer come in, for me, the more difficult it is to pick a shade. So I did have some issues deciding which shade to get. So again, we have the shade 4G. This one, let me build up the swatches a little bit so y'all can see them a little bit better. Okay, so the shade 4G is tan with golden undertones, and the shade 8P is tan with peach undertones. So for those of you who are new here, I do have a pink undertone, so I always go for that for complexion products. If I can't find that, I will go for golden. However, peach will work because it should give me some color correction as well. I'd stay away from olive and yellow undertones, so that's why I chose these two shades, because I wasn't sure if 8P was going to be too dark, and it does look like it is going to be too dark, but I'm going to try it first. But this is probably going to be the one that I'm going to use primarily on the under eye. But let's jump right in and apply them to the under eye so we can see what we're working with. Okay, so I'm starting out with the shade 8P, and again, this one has the peach undertone to it, so it might be too dark. I think it will be too dark to brighten the under eye, but I'm gonna go in with this one first because maybe we'll get some color correction out of it. So I'm applying it with the Rare Beauty concealer brush. So you guys know that I always used to use the Rare Beauty foundation brush to apply concealer. I decided to try this just to pinpoint areas better, so I do like this better for concealer. So I'm gonna start off with, I actually picked up a little bit too much on my brush, more than I wanted to, so that's all that I want to apply right now. So I'm just gonna take another brush just to blend it out. We're gonna go one eye at a time just so that we can see a before and after. So I'm going to be concentrating this right in the inner part of the under eye area because that's where I have the most darkness. I'm dragging it up to where I have those marks from I got some eyeshadow on my nose, but the marks where I have from my glasses on my nose is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so far it's blending out really nicely. It does have a nice creamy consistency to it, but it blends out really well, so it's not like thick or anything. You can blend it out really easily, and I do think that I got some really good coverage right there. So let me know what y'all are thinking. I'm gonna take, I really want to do like one eye at a time so that we can see a before and after, but I also don't want to mix up the colors on my brush, so I am gonna have to go in with a different brush. So far, let's take a look at how it color corrected under here. I don't want to put too much of the color correction over here because I just don't feel like I need it as much over there. So let me know what you guys think. I think that this covered up a lot, especially like right up in the inner part of the eye. So let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go on top of this though with the shade 4G because this one will give me some brightness under the eye. So I'm just taking a clean brush here and I'm picking up very little because I picked up too much the first time. I'm gonna go right on top of the first shade with some of 4G. So I'm just blending it out the same way that I did the first time. I wish I had thought to use a different brush, so that I like blending my concealer out with this brush, but I'm gonna have to go with this one instead because like I said, I don't want to really mix up the colors too much. Okay, I'm gonna put on just a little bit more on the outer part of the under eye, and when I put concealer on over here, it's more so just to give me some brightness, to balance some things out, and to help me clean up my eyeshadow. But I am trying to avoid, per the usual, I have like those little lines directly under the eye. I am trying to avoid those. And I'm just dragging it up. I'm gonna have to go back and clean up with my foundation brush in a little bit. Okay, so I do really like the way that it blended out. I don't have foundation on just yet, so things will come together even more when I put my foundation on, but I do like the way that that blended out, and I think that it layers really nicely to the point where it's giving me really good coverage. And I feel like if I'm wearing it, if I'm wearing this concealer just for like every day, I feel like this is all the concealer that I would need. But I'm gonna go in with a little bit more. Let's just see like how it builds up. I definitely would consider this a full coverage concealer, but I'm gonna go on top of that with another layer. And although this is blending out really nicely, it is taking me longer to blend with this brush just because this isn't the usual brush that I would use. Okay, so here we have concealer versus no concealer. So there's obviously a difference. I probably could have gone even one shade lighter than this for some brightness, but I think that this is okay. I have a feeling when I put my foundation on, it'll look a little bit better. But let me know what y'all think about the coverage, the shade, and all of that. I like it so far. So I'm gonna put some on the other side while I give y'all some information about the product, and then we're gonna go into our wear test. The r.e.m. Beauty Sweetener Concealer applies with a smooth, lightweight veil and can be layered to customize coverage with a soft matte finish. It conceals, corrects, highlights, brightens, contours, and carves, and you can use it to touch up or use it all over your face. It's supposed to be a customizable, buildable, medium to full coverage, and I don't see any key ingredients highlighted on here. I'm looking on the Ulta website, but I will leave a link down below where you can read all of the ingredients in this concealer. It's available in 60 shades, and again, I am playing around with shades 4G and shades 8P, and they retail for $24. You can get this at r.e.m. Beauty's website or at Ulta. Okay, so this is what the concealer looks like under both of the eyes, and I think I mentioned earlier that I could probably have gone a shade lighter, but I think that this shade is light enough, especially in my viewfinder. I think that it's good. I don't have any concealer like right on the immediate under eye area. Well, I have a little bit there, but I just try to avoid that area as much as I can. So remember, we're concentrating on the concealer just a little bit lower than that. So first impression wise, I'm really liking it, and I wasn't really expecting to like this concealer because this brand in general just doesn't appeal to me. I just kind of feel like it doesn't cater to my age group, but so far I am really liking this concealer, and I think my first impression is this might actually be like my new color corrector for under the eyes. I really like this so far, but remember, I just put it on. This color is just not going to work for me. Like it's okay, but it's golden, and if it were a bit more cool toned, I would like it. But this shade here, I think I really like it for a color corrector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly put on some foundation, and then I'm going to set the under eye, and then we're going to start with the wear test. So I'm going to quickly put on some of this Tower 28 tinted sunscreen. This is the one that I've been reaching for on most days lately, and I'm just putting on a very little bit because although I have like colorful eyeshadow on today, I want to do kind of like a simple type of makeup look for today. So I'm also going to take my foundation brush and I'm just going to gently pat like right where the concealer is meeting the foundation on the under eye area, just to make sure that that area is nice and blended in. And then I'm going to take this brush. You guys saw me switch to this brush like midway through. That other brush, I just couldn't apply my concealer with it, but I'm patting right over the immediate under eye area one more time, just to make sure that everything is nice and flat, nice and blended in before I go in and set the under eye. I'm going to set it the way I normally do. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder, and I'm just taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush and I'm setting just in this immediate area. I'm going to take a little bit more of this shade 4G, and I'm also going to apply some of this to the center of my face. And we're not really concentrating on these areas today, but just to balance my face out a little bit. Okay, so this is what the rest of my face looks like, and I feel like you kind of can't see the concealer in the other parts of the face. I mean, I can see it, but it's not all that visible. But again, we're focusing on the under eyes for today. So I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup off camera, show you what that looks like, and then we'll get started with the wear test. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how to film in my room with the air conditioner on, because I'm over here struggling right now. I have my ceiling fan and another fan blowing right on me, and it's just not enough. If I have the air conditioner on, it'll be too loud for y'all, but I am on the struggle bus today. But anyway, this is what my makeup is looking like for today. So we're gonna do a wear test, hopefully an 8-hour wear test. So I already gave you guys my first impression. I'm really liking this concealer so far. So good. So let's get right into the wear test. It is a little before 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm hoping y'all can see that. So I'll be back in about 4 hours with a midday check-in, and then at the end of the video I will let y'all know if I think y'all should check this concealer out for yourself. So I will see y'all a little bit later on. Okay, y'all, it is about 5:15. So aside from me sweating bullets, I feel like the concealer is wearing very, very nicely. So we're about 4 hours in. I am sitting in front of a window so that y'all can see it in this lighting, but I think it's wearing very nicely. I can see like some very minimal creasing when I look at my face up close in the mirror, but it's very minimal. Like, I'm really satisfied with the way that the concealer is wearing so far. So I'm going to shoot for like another 4 hours, so I should see y'all at around 9 o'clock, and then I'll give y'all my final thoughts. Okay guys, I am back for my final check-in. So it's a little after 9 o'clock in the evening, so we're basically at the 8-hour mark. It's been like 8 hours and like 15 or 20 minutes or so. So this is what my under eyes are looking like, and I am very happy and I'm very shocked. I was not expecting to like this concealer the way that I do. I think that the concealer worked very, very well on me today, and I'm just like, I'm blown away. I really am. So I did tell y'all in the halfway mark check-in that I noticed some minimal creasing, and I do still notice it. However, I'm noticing it because I'm looking at the concealer up close and I'm really paying attention to how it's wearing on my skin. If somebody were standing at a normal distance away from me, they're not going to notice that my under eye concealer is creasing. I mean, it's that minimal. I really do feel like this is the best concealer wear test that I've had in recent memory. I think the last one that I reviewed was the Huda concealer, and it's definitely wearing better than that, and it's also wearing better than my Anastasia concealer. This is the one that I wear 100% of the time unless I'm trying out another concealer, and the r.e.m concealer is wearing better than this one too. I can't think off the top of my head some of the other concealers that I tried, but I know that I've done some other concealer videos in recent months, and this one I just feel like it's wearing so much better than anything that I've tried in recent history. So the only downside about this concealer for me personally is the shade range. So even with 60 shades, unfortunately they just don't have a brightening shade for me. So I did tell y'all at the beginning that I always go for pink undertones, but a lot of times I can't find that. So this one I can work with it, but to me it is just like very golden, and it's like coming off a bit too yellow for me. So I would say if you use me as a shade reference and you have more of a yellow or golden undertone, then try this shade. Again, this one is the shade 4G, and I'm sure that they have a neutral undertone counterpart to this one, but unfortunately they don't have a cool tone like in this range. So I'm probably going to end up returning this shade because I'm not going to use it anymore. But the shade 8P, now this one is a really good color corrector. So my favorite color corrector right now is the Bobbi Brown corrector stick, and I like this one better because it blends out just as nicely as Bobbi Brown, but this one has better coverage. So I would say overall I really like these, and I'm just so surprised that I like them as much as I do. So I would highly suggest that y'all try these out if you have not done so already. So those are my final thoughts on these new r.e.m. Sweetener Concealer. So I hope that you liked this video and that you found it helpful. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.